Even at an early age, I knew there was something fundamentally wrong with this, that human beings weren't supposed to live like that. And it's been that experience of what the bottom of a society looks like that has propelled me to think about and to work for how can a world work for all beings? How can the world work for all human beings? How can the world work for all other beings?
Sharif grew up along the Delaware River in Camden, New Jersey, thought to be the worst city in America in the 1950s and 60s, and Sharif's family lived in the worst of the worst.
I was visiting with a friend, and we were outside, and her puppy was playing with something, and she says, "I bet you don't know what that is." And I said, "It's a chicken foot." And she says, "Well, how would you know what a chicken's foot looked like?" And I said, "We used to eat them." And she gave me this look that said, "Why in the world would anyone ever want to eat a chicken's foot?" And the answer is, no one would want to do that. We did that because we needed to survive. It was chronic, it was endemic, it was embedded in the system to the point that people who were living in it thought it was normal. The police in Camden were targeting the leaders of our organization with death. So they had killed several of us, and I was kind of like next on the hit parade. So when they isolated me in this demonstration, they proceeded to beat me into unconsciousness and then continue to beat me. I spent 3 days paralyzed from my neck down, not knowing if I would ever walk again. Anger coupled with powerlessness manifests itself in a couple of different ways. One is an extremely high alcoholism rate. This is true in Camden. This was true for me personally. I started drinking when I was like 12 years old. I was a full-blown alcoholic by 14. By 17, I had a bleeding ulcer and lines all over my face, and the doctor said I couldn't drink anymore. So I started using drugs because it's better for your stomach. And then by 20 years old, I had stopped everything. I was on a quest for a mystical experience, and I didn't know what a mystical experience was. And it took me a while to realize this, but the world doesn't work for anybody. The world doesn't work for people it purports to work for.
Sharif had a profound shift in his life. He heard his life's calling and took action. Action that created reverberations that rippled throughout communities, the nation, indeed, the world.
The Common Society movement is the recognition that we need to have a global human society.
Sharif has worked in 36 countries around the world as a catalyst for inclusive social, cultural, and spiritual transformation.
Of anger and frustration and a lack of my own sense of personal power, to understanding my own power, understanding where society's power is, and doing a lot of work around how to change it, how to change our world, how to change our lives, how to make change in the world, to bring things in line with the visions that we hold for society. Our true values lie beyond empty posturing, political sloganeering, and campaign rhetoric. We're stronger than our fears and better than our limitations. If our society doesn't work for everybody, it doesn't work for anybody. You have to do is look at how fundamental the society needs to change and how you need to be changed inside that society. How do we empower people to actually make changes in society? Easier said than done. The primary aspect is to get people to talk to each other. My question was, what would happen if you brought either actual or potential adversaries to sit down and talk at the same time in the same room? They have established their humanness with each other. They've established a relationship with each other. And they can talk about this issue, whatever the issue that would be potentially divisive. They can talk about the issue without dividing. They can talk about the issue and state contrary opinions without pulling away from their mutual humanness. I've eaten meals with poor rice farmers that were so poor, I know they were sharing their only food with me. But what I want to do is manifest my destiny. I want to manifest my purpose in life. And the way I do that is by being open to the life that is all around me, as opposed to saying, I want a pony and, and be very, very disappointed around Christmas time. Yes, I do know what I know, but I know that knowing has nothing to do with me. And so from that time, I've been able to be a clearer and a more focused agent for that kind of change, as opposed to being tied up in the arrogance and the ego, etc. I could be a lot quieter. I could actually allow things to emerge from another direction. I'm reminded of a Rumi quote that says, do you think I know what I'm doing, that for one breath I belong to myself? As much as a pen knows what it's writing, or the ball can guess where it's going next. So in terms of looking at my own life trajectory, I feel like the ball has been whacked real hard and it's going somewhere, but I'm not the one who is determining or even knowing where that ball is going.